Alrighty, guys. I thought we'd kind of come back to me first because these teams are taking forever. And I'm not joking, it is down to the teams. It's not just me going, do you know what? I'm going to chill out with you guys in chat for a while. No, it is the teams taking their sweet damn time. I'll drop us into the server so you can see what I mean. And I am still joined by Dog, but hopefully he's not just kind of left me to my own devices. I actually think this is very good timing because I think the teams are pretty much all in on the server. And we can actually check that out in 1 second. But guys, thank you for sticking with me, by the way. I do appreciate every single one of you being here, watching obviously the second cup of the brand new season of Battlefield 4 ESL 1, as you can see right behind me on the big screen. I don't need to tell you all this stuff. But what I do need to tell you is I believe the teams are almost ready. Dogbert, you alive?
I am indeed.
Sweet, there we go. That's all we need in this. Dogbert being alive, and we can get towards the game starting nice and soon. And you did see, I was going to be a nice person, and be like, look, they weren't on the server. Now they're all there. I look like a terrible liar. Oh, you horrible people. This is not cool.
They were waiting for you to come back onto cam.
Oh, that's what it
is.
That's what it is, clearly.
It was prepared on the SSDs. They're just waiting for the go word.
Absolute scumbags. So we are going to be getting to Dawnbreaker as our first map to take you through it. I believe we'll have Locker following this, and then Parasol Storm. But the two teams, InFamouS up against ESC. If you're just tuning in, there's a reason I wanted to watch this, is because InFamouS let me down parlously. Absolutely parlously. During the offline finals. I'd been hyping them up the entire time, saying, you know what, they're a great team. They deserve all the attention they can get. And then they absolutely let me down. So, if they fail policy this time, we are going to be very upset with them. Anyway, the thing we can do is put at least the scoreboard the correct way around, hopefully. So ESC will be on the US side, the Chinese side will be InFamouS. And well, no surprises on the boosts here. We can kind of go through the lineups as well while we're waiting. Lasercat, Musiak, Get Wrecked, Baden, Doobie, Crema, Grimjow, Tony, Hysteria, and Perlin. But I want to watch this little boost from the start, and then we can get in towards what's going down later. But only a two-man squad heading in towards B. We've got one splitting down towards C. This is a unique beginning from InFamouS.
Yeah, definitely. But there's the spawns in. That's pretty standard. Oh, that's a great position. And if Hysteria can get the kills, then he does. There you go. They are going to get the B flag off the bat, and that is a rarity for the Chinese side in this map.
This is unbelievable. I completely missed it. I did not expect him to be getting those kills in that position. But you are seeing ESC setting up their defenses here along the catwalk side. Grenades, however, are coming in. We can see Perlin did take down Musiak. Swift revive from Doobie, and they're back up and running. But Hysteria seems as though he's out for business today. But nevertheless, ESC are pushing back in towards that B site, and they could possibly get one.
Yeah, definitely. Not bad start in a way. The ESC, obviously, they would have liked the B flag straight off the bat, but they did stop any pressure on the C. Well, look at those spawns already coming in, and the kills across the bat are pretty much InFamouS's.
Yeah, indeed, and BC hold right now for that ESC side, obviously on the US side, but the nice little split from Crema there, get himself right back down towards C, is going to gift him this flag straight into his hand, so well played to him, but oh, he got caught in the heels. The back spawn for ESC coming in strong. Get Wrecked will pick that up. That is a terrible name. But still, we're going to see the push down coming from InFamouS. Obviously, having that A side, they have a slightly easier route, at least on the vertical way across, down towards B. It's going to be Hysteria doing the work, but he does get taken down. Support from Crema comes in, Doobie falls, and B is back, possibly in the hands of InFamouS. And why is that AV hold such an ideal setup?
Especially if you get the upper balcony. It really just, there's no spawns behind, and even if there are, you usually can pick them off quite early. It is the stronger one because C, we know how prolific the spawn behind that C flag is. It is just topsy-turvy, that flag, when the kills are coming in.
Yeah, it certainly is. We are seeing ESC moving back in. It is B that's being contested. We're not seeing that many splits up the street just yet, but it seems though InFamouS are happy playing this interesting-ish setup, having most of the players focused towards the inner side of the buildings, occasionally pushing someone forward if they lose out on B. Mostly the chance from these stairs, as you're seeing Grim there right now, spraying down, picking up Doobie, and takes the kill. So that should be B back in their hands, but they're not ever quite able to win over this catwalk area. It always seems to be constantly pressured. I think Musiak is still there, a couple of nades coming out between these guys, and it's a constant struggle, hence why those tickets are still so close. But this is going to be a good game through and through, I feel.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, ESC really trying to struggle to find themselves here. They have got this AC flag, not the best of all the holds, but you know, it's just to get by time. And there you go, they cleaned the upper balcony, and with that, They're going to try and keep this BC, a hold which we don't see very often. And when we have seen it, it's mainly out of desperation. But MYM like this hold. They do it quite a lot. They feel comfortable. But it'll be nice to see if ESC can replicate that success.
I'm very interested by Grimjail's positioning. He is literally out on a limb there, but I believe it's allowed Kremer to push up with him. Kremer comes through with that M16A4, gonna get the revive towards Grim as well. So two-man squad can now pick up the C-side, but oh, look at this play coming back. There was one player there, I think it's Miziak finding Kremer, but Grim trying to connect the shots, not gonna happen. The recoil just not being controlled well enough. You can spray into the air all you want, but Doobie's gonna pick up two and secure that BC hold. A is all InFamouS have, and this is a weird side for me. Obviously, InFamouS now can't run with those FamouSes. They're no longer allowed in play. AEK is a possibility, but they're going to be stuck down to what everyone else kind of plays towards. This is maybe a hindrance towards them.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I like the way that ESC are playing, but the problem is they're not staying alive.
And oh my god. Oh, look at this. Look at LaserCat. He went on a one-man mission all the back way round towards A. Tony's coming back round, but this sneaky mission has kept them at the 2-1. That's really smartly done. Tony literally missing every single bullet possible, finally finishing off the kill with that pistol to hand. But these one-man pushes, are they worth it, really?
They are definitely worth it, because especially if the kills across the board are not going your well, you're pretty much relying on that guy to either harass, get a flag, or at least be a spawn point. And being an extra guy close to a flag like that is such a bonus, because it's just an extra spawning point close to a flag, insta-capture, and more importantly, always keeping your opponents guessing.
Certainly does, and Tony now being the last defensive man by this A side. He's found one. I believe his teammate who previously fell did spot the other, so you can see he's a little bit edgy here. And you can see B is the only one that ESC have, but there's obviously that chance of the back spawn there coming. LaserCat's going to get that. A little bit of a dodgy positioning from the Hysteria there. Maybe not expecting the random spawn to come into effect so quickly. So that's going to give C back over towards ESC, but immediately InFamouS are going to get towards that B site and look for the challenge. Are they in the right position to claim this one, though?
Not right now. ESC's positioning around that B flag has not been great, and they've been getting thrown off that flag on a regular occurrence. It's not like it's happened once or twice. It's consistent, and really they're just playing hoping for the caps. And there you go. Doobie gets shut down along with Jarrett, and here you go. InFamouS threatening a trip cap here.
And well, they definitely started to need it. Let's be serious here. 81-75, they were struggling for tickets at one point. They seem to have found their footing back into this game. Tony with a nice position down that roadside. He's going to have to claim a couple of kills as they are using that to push up towards A. Maybe to try and negate the complete meat grind that was happening over towards B. And a two-man squad have actually broken through. LaserCat being one of them. I believe he's joined by Doobie. So Doobie laying down the supporting fire, picks up Perlin. And that is A, looking as though it could be over into the hands of ESC quite swiftly. LaserCat now pushing around, making sure it's clear for the taking, and it is. But InFamouS looking like they might want to challenge this one, Dog. But
yeah, definitely. And InFamouS really just seem to be reacting a lot of the time. They know that ESC aren't concentrating on flags. They're just kind of going wild and trying to rush past and get flag captures. And InFamouS are just reacting to that, being very aggressive, coming forward, hunting for kills, and it's paying off for them. They took the lead in this game.
Yeah, and another triple cap just to make it hurt. It looks like ESC are going to try and use those inner buildings to get back through here. A little bit of a one-man push out towards A. Not sure what happened there, but C will be theirs to begin with. Miziak trying to capture that one through. He's going to claim that by himself. The rest of the side going to head back through those buildings, start maybe adding some pressure towards A, towards B, but look at this again. Doobie, and is that LaserCat again? No, it's Baden this time. Going to head up towards A, look to maybe try and pick this one up for themselves. Last time around is a bit of a swift capture over for InFamouS doing this, but now Doobie lays down the grenade, but a quick push comes out. Well played by Kremer, securing A and maintaining this A-B hold and leaving, well, ESC just down towards that C site. I can't believe this is switched around at such a pivotal point.
Yeah, and Kremer's just been doing a great job in this game. And with that, really just keeping, and look at this hole, bring up that tabletop and look at that, from top to bottom, from A to a catwalk. InFamouS are in control, and now you can see ESC are just stacking up and kind of clutching the straws. They need something big to happen here.
Yeah, and if they try and challenge Cremo, it's probably not the ideal target you want to go towards. One of the players has already fallen to his hand. Interesting choice of weaponry as well, going for something unique, that M16A4. He did start to use it towards the later part of the other season, but perfectly read situational awareness. Goes down, gets two, Miziak falls, and Cremo is being dominant. He does eventually get taken down by Baden, but the work as a singular man that he did then was phenomenal. But they've left B fairly vulnerable, but can they find any other routes through InFamouS here? Will they get that back spawn? I can imagine they're looking for it. I think even GetWrecked is kind of hunting around for it himself, but it's actually going to be a street spawn coming in, so pushing down that main road highway side towards the C flag. Do they have a chance of picking this one up, or is the positioning coming out from GetWrecked a little bit too strong?
It's always possible, but Hysteria, they're getting the easy kill on Misk, and with that, man, they're losing out B. And you know, I've been interested in Cremo running with the M16A4. Brilliant weapon, and something I'm happy seeing getting a bit of airtime. But at the end of the day, it's for ESC, they just need to get a bleed, and they're just getting massacred right now.
They really are. B has been disastrous. You can see the mountain of bodies on the floor there. Not just ESC's, bear in mind, InFamouS is as well. And it looks like maybe ESC have a little bit of a closer foot towards the flag than the others, but they need to get there fast. They do not have the high ground. Grimjaw making sure of that. Takes down Lasercat, but now he has support as well. You can see that they're pushing back down for this InFamouS. They're not giving this one up without a fight. Miziak does find one, but falls in the end. Tony goes down. No, she doesn't. He takes down Doobie, and now we're going to see the push down coming on towards that. And at the moment, it looks like ESC are really struggling to find their way in. They're close, but the tickets are getting rather low. They need to make a move now, or it's too little too late, surely.
Yeah, Jarrett just doing a really important kill at C there, giving them a chance here, capturing B. And you can already see that InFamouS were moving back to defend that A flag. And ESC bait and switch, go back and just capture out that B. This is their last chance here. 9 tickets to 48, and they need to hold this as long as they can to make the next round manageable.
It's certainly going to be a tough task. We see Doobie now going to be under pressure. The push has begun from InFamouS. It's going to be Perlin dropping down the side, going on the flank around the back. Smart play from Perlin. Love that work. And now B is looking a little bit more vulnerable. InFamouS moving in for blood now. Tony's the first on the side. He's going to try and negate the presence on that catwalk. Takes down Lasercat. Claims it back for himself. You can see the flag falling in the distance. Perlin now moving as well. 8 tickets left for ESC. They're letting this slip. Miziak trying to do what he can. He's going to just push in for the sake of it, but it's not going to happen. AB hold comes out, but for how long? Can these guys scrap it out any longer, or is it too little too late? C's even being capped out by Hysteria. This is InFamouS being absolutely phenomenal. 36 tickets at the end, but what a turnaround from a little bit of a lacking start.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, for InFamouS, that was brilliant for them. The start for them was absolutely amazing. Hysteria getting those 2 kills straight off the bat, capturing the flag, keeping the bleed going. But Cremo, 21 for 12, absolutely beasting this game.
Yeah, someone's after, you know, a pay raise or something. Jesus Christ. 21 to 12. And it wasn't just useless kills as well. It was really well done. And the one thing I really wanted to point out then was even just Perlin's play. The situational awareness coming out from them is absolutely brilliant. I've got to give them credit where it's due. When it does go right for these guys, they're absolutely on point. I'm not sponsored by Coca-Cola. That's going away. Obviously, Red Bull would be what I'd be drinking if I was. But no, we are just waiting on the 5th comeback for InFamouS. But yeah, a 36-ticket lead going into the second half. Is it enough to be comfortable, or do they need to be making sure they're applying that pressure from the very start here?
They need to come out crazy here and get that initial control. And the problem is they're going to be on the harder side as well. And that's what something that surprised me about that start. Hysteria managed to get through unnoticed and covered that corner. And when everyone from ESC came up that ramp, he murdered them both. And with that, that B flag just went straight over to the side, which shouldn't be able to challenge it that successfully.
I completely agree. But guys, obviously, let me know how the sound is. I did change it during the break, so hopefully you guys can keep me updated on that one. I will be looking at chat right now. Obviously, there's a slight delay there between what you're watching and what I'm looking at. Obviously, just to keep the teams playing fairly, let's say. Sounds okay. Awesome. I like that. Hopefully all is good. Just let me know. Sound has been fine from the beginning. It was a little bit loud on the beginning. Obviously, I do have to get it a little bit louder than you guys at home, so that's why I got turned down a bit. But yeah, obviously, it seems that you guys are happy with that. I'm pleased. As long as you guys are happy, that's all I want to know. But yes, guys, there has been a slight change towards the rule set, and the guns being able to be used as well. I will be linking that in chat if you guys do want to check it out. obviously over there. It was down to a poll, and the teams did vote for what they feel is the best representation of a competitive battlefield. And to give you a quick list, at least for the assault rifles, Ace 23 still in play, obviously we saw it there. The M416, as we saw in the hands of a rather pivotal player. AEK, no worries, that's still there. M16A4 was actually the gun we saw, and the AK-12, all allowed to be used. For carbines, the ACWR, the rather odd-looking one that looks a little bit like an AS-50, but it's not. It's just like this crazy assault rifle-looking kind of carbine. The ACE-21 close quarters combat, I think, is still there. The AK-5C, the M4, and the AKU-12, all allowed to be played with, all an option. But I think we are just waiting, obviously, on the 5th of InFamouS to come back with us. I'll drop you into game so you don't have to stare at me. That's always a nice bonus I'll look after you guys with. See, I'm a kind person deep down. And I will be linking you guys at home to the news article at the end if you do want to check it out there. But what are your thoughts to the changes? No FAMOUS now in play. I'm worried for InFamouS, but they still managed to turn it around.
They did have, they were one of those teams that kind of broke out around the time that FAMOUS started to be widely used. And, you know, if anything, it was kind of a great equalizer in a way. You could really just pull it out in firefights and put down a lot of bullets very quickly. And you know, it kind of worked for the other team as well, but a lot of teams like that balance that you have with the Ace. Long range, short range, and medium range. But the FAMOUS was just so overpowering at short and mid range that, you know, it would just get very messy. And considering a lot of these maps, to be honest, are quite close quarter, yeah, it would end up in a massacre a lot of the time, especially at sea on Zaphod. Jesus.
And to be fair, the AEK is not that much different. Looking even at the stats of it, I do believe I actually worked out during the last finals literally the mathematical difference between the fire rate, the reload. It's more of an all-rounder than the FAMOUS anyway. The FAMOUS has like the longest reload in the world for a gun like that. I think it has a fairly small clip as well, whereas the AK is a little bit more versatile in that aspect, but obviously has that slightly muted range compared to the Ace, but it's still in place, so hopefully it's still easy to kind of see the options, see the kind of variations. And I like seeing a little bit of variations with the weaponry. I don't like it just being a one-gun race. It's always been nice seeing the slight variations, and especially with the attachments. That's one thing people forget, obviously, in Battlefield, that it's not just about the weapons, it's about the attachments they run with it as well. Generally coming down to the difference between the stubby grip, the angle grip, any of the other kind of muzzle brakes in there as well. I think they are actually restricted towards what they can use, some of them. I don't think you can use a potato grip or anything like that, but still, it's nice seeing the slight variations, and you do see, you know, how these teams kind of split their players towards specific roles. So you'll see the, you know, two players who generally play the inside sights or the closer range sights, not having the angle grip, they go for the stubby one with the muzzle brake, and then the players who generally, like, if we're looking at Locker, for example, who challenge out on C, having the angle grip. It's always nice to see those kind of variations. We are just waiting on the final player to rejoin us. I think he just has, so we should be on the way nice and quickly. No harm, no foul. And your thoughts on the second half? You know, the lead is not substantial. You know, InFamouS looking good. Is this one that InFamouS are going to pick up? Is this their map?
InFamouS really should not have got the lead they did at the beginning of that round, and it was all because of that start. And even with that, somehow ESC managed to take a lead. So we'll have to wait and see how they deal with this one. But you got to imagine that they need a strong start just to relegate the fact that they are already behind 36 tickets. And this is their map pick as well. So ESC really need to step it up here. And to be honest, in that performance, it just didn't seem that they could put it all together. While InFamouS were constantly sticking to them like glue.
I completely, utterly agree with you there, actually. I'm hoping we see something good out of these guys. InFamouS will be starting down on the US side this time, whereas ESC will be on the Chinese. So I have to see what they go for from the very offset. And 21 seconds after the countdown, I can imagine we'll be seeing that boosted up spawn. Have they boosted across? No, they haven't. They haven't actually boosted yet. I'm kind of curious here. I'm waiting to see the boost. There we go. I was a little bit worried. I was like, what are you guys doing? Why are you not boosting? And there we have it. The boost comes through. I was a little worried for a second, but it does give you that little bit of a second head start going forward towards that B site. You get the respawns off the back of yourself. LaserCat being the leader of the troop, pretty much. Gonna give himself a little bit of cover, a little bit of fire comes in from the highway side. Crema does pick up the first kill. They're taking down ESC. We are seeing that B side going down to a bit of a bloodbath as Hysteria does it again, picking up the kill towards Doobie. The push forward comes out from Hysteria. Batting goes down, and that is B secured. And hell, they're even going to be putting the pressure on through those buildings straight away. This is brilliant stuff coming out from InFamouS from the very offset.
Yeah, it's the start they wanted. Instantly 40 tickets ahead, and with the bleed to boot, and this is just not what you want. ESC, though, with that pressure and with the amount of players that they just lost, they have got a big spawn at C and the kill on Crema, and there you go. They're going to get the bleed, and there you go. If you lose a load of players like that, you can always sometimes rely on the god of the respawn to give you a good hand.
All hail god of respawn. ESC gets saved a little there, but they're not being saved from this bloodbath over at A. They finally get the kills they need, and InFamouS looking a little bit stuck in between more than anything. They have players to the right, players to the left. They do kind of get caught up by Baden and ESC there, and Grimjo and Crema go down. So it's time to go back to the drawing board for InFamouS, find their footing again, and just reclaim these sites and work their way back up this road. But there's a straight up bit of pressure coming down. Oh, Lasercat with a double. That is going to add insult to injury. ESC comes round, finds Grimjaw, finds Tony, and that was a near-on squad wipe, just leaving Perlin alive. ESC just seem to have had their Weetabix during the half there.
Yeah, that was definitely what they needed, and you know what? It was a great start for InFamouS, but it was so good that the spawns hurt them, and their aggressive style, it's just bit them in the ass here, and it's all really down to ESC holding this position right now, because they can threat a trip cap again.
Well, Get Wrecked has gone wrecked, and now A is completely open for the taking. We're seeing ESC having to come around, watch the crossing. He finds one. Should he get a second? Oh, he does! Perlin falls. Beautiful work from ESC there. And ESC are not looking like they're giving up on this one just yet, but InFamouS just about scraping away with that seaside fire coming in from that balcony. But a quick retraction from Doobie there as he knows that B could be in threat, maybe even C. The cross being shot on. But it looks as though maybe InFamouS have enough of the momentum to kind of take them through here towards this B site. Yeah,
and Doobie really needs to be careful here. He's getting outflanked here by Crema, but at the same time, they are causing damage at B. But you can already see InFamouS are on the offensive and tying people down at that A flank.
Oh, and Crema's play then, perfectly waiting it out, getting the double kill in there with Grim to support. And that was just so well done. You saw him literally waiting around those pretty much the pillars for the perfect time to make the assault, and now it looks like InFamouS are eyeing up the A side. This could be a triple cap for them. This is an insane game. It's going between hands to hands, and it's so hard to keep up with who's actually really in the lead at the moment because it's still so close, even ticket-wise.
Yeah, definitely. It's an absolute chaotic mess over at A, and it is coming out. ESC's to A. Tony, last guy up once again. He seems to be always the last guy up as well.
Yeah, Tony does find Get Wrecked, and Sirius close by. He's not yet fully come off the side, so he's going to come back around to support, takes down Baden, and they should be able to reclaim this if they do find that final player. There's Lasercat coming around. He's going to get the revive. There we go. So, there's a flat-out exchange for that final one. So, A is theirs. We do see a one-man band of Crema still alive. I don't know how he is. With that M16A4, I want to stick on board with him, see if he can somehow avoid the damage. Not going to happen. He does go down to Doobie in the end. And now B is a little bit light of InFamouS players, and you could see them being in real trouble. Hysteria not going to do too much work. He finds one, but gets an exchange really for Get Right. Get Right, Get Wrecked. Jesus. Screw you guys for these names. But 91 to 101. This is a very close game.
Yeah, definitely. And it's very competitive, and definitely the kind of round I'm sure ESC wish they'd had previously.
Oh, God, yeah.
And InFamouS here really just seem to be coming forward so aggressively, but it's getting messy, and now they're just getting picked up.
Jesus.
You know what? I think ESC here are starting to work out the rhythm of InFamouS and are starting to pick them off.
Well, it could have been a matter of time, but then again, InFamouS did pick up towards the later half of the first half and then started doing the real damage. ESC finally does go down. What gun was he actually working with there? I want to see what he's been using, as he looks a little bit different from the others. I'm not sure if I'm going mad. But the variation's still certainly in place, and B being fought over at the moment. We're seeing Tony pushing in, ESC back up on the board. He's going to switch up to the ace, so nothing too important there. Get Wrecked goes down. That name is going to destroy me, you damn people. But anyway, InFamouS having to really work for this. They are down on a good couple of tickets here. Let's bear in mind, ESC have the deficit. If they drop below 36, they'd be out of the first map. But still, it looks like it's not game over just yet, and InFamouS are being put through their paces.
Yeah, InFamouS are really starting to struggle now, and This is really, really good play from ESC. They've started to put it all together, but they need to make sure they don't get too sloppy here because they are throwing away kills and lives for no reason at all. And they're just giving up that B flag here, and they've just locked out a C with Doobie going down as well. So all change once again.
It certainly has. Get is up on the catwalk though, so they might be able to use him a little bit for leverage. There's a cat pushing down from A. No one really willing to challenge just yet. Hysteria getting caught in the heels. A little bit sloppy from him, but look at this counter push from InFamouS. Immediately going back up towards A. InFamouS finding their footing a little once they got their hands on the site, but they seem to be still playing this very scrappy game that's not quite settled down just yet.
Yeah, definitely. It is back and forth right now, and I kind of feel ESC is slightly better on their rotations right now, and I kind of feel that InFamouS is starting to rely too much on kind of big, heavy forward pushes and breakout plays.
Well, let's see if InFamouS can pull themselves together for this B flag, as Kremer does do the work towards batting, claiming 3 kills there. Only Get and Miziak up and standing. The flag is now being capped over. It looks like it's going to be an AB hold. The reinforcements for ESC will be coming in down towards that C flag. Well, Mang does still hold on towards this catwalk. This Get he's going to get picked up pretty damn easy. But the pressure's still coming on strong from ESC. They're not down just yet, but at the moment, it's still fairly even if we take into account the deficit ESC have. But they've just been playing a little bit stronger, but they need to break out this C site. They're not using the inner side of the building, which is surprising. They did so well on that before, but Get gets himself down towards those rather impenetrable stairs, getting the nades through, looking for his options. Miziak finding Hysteria is going to do perfect work, but Get just not landing these shots. The rest of his side seem to be doing the damage, whereas he's slightly slacking, and this 2-to-1 hold is really going to start hurting the ESC side very soon.
Yeah, they really need to be pushing the issue here. But because they want to be careful, they don't want to get overrun and caught from behind, so they're taking their time, but they really need to be moving forward. That bleed is really hurting them. And they are starting to break through. Lasercat's through again, but, you know, there you go. He gets taken out, but there you go. Upper balcony control for ESC. They do have the B flag, but look at the spawns, and it's all at sea.
Yeah, look at the tickets, 36. If they drop below that, ESC on the Chinese side, they lose out on the first map. InFamouS currently battling through. They've got one man on C, a one-man army. It's Kremer, the guy who went absolutely massive before. Can he stay alive here? He takes down one, finds some cover, goes up for the second. He gets it! Kremer holding on towards C by himself. He's now got another challenge coming in, but he's just going to use the boxes, use the cover perfectly. And hell, he might even get a kill to boot there. So literally, InFamouS being dragged to this point on occasion by Kremer. He's not even sitting positive, but with work like that coming in, very strong play. But still, A being secured by Tony as well. This is looking like InFamouS could pull this one off.
Yeah, definitely. They have got the lead here, really. And just stronger play on the defensive from InFamouS. And, you know, they're working better as a group. There you go. They just managed to finish off Misk. And they did that through just good cooperation, good communication. And this is going to be a small trip cap that's pushing them very, very close to that cutoff point.
Yeah, it's too little, too late. ESC just getting pushed beyond their means. And, you know, the funny thing is, InFamouS weren't really out-fragging them for a substantial amount of this game. But nevertheless, you know, ESC just weren't able to really find themselves in this. So InFamouS pulling it off in the end, just getting ESC below that threshold cutoff, which is all they really had to do. So well played to them on the first map, at least. Overall, what are your thoughts towards the way ESC played that second half there? Because, you know, on the first half, they looked fairly strong. They looked quite good, but they looked as though they were on the verge of doing better. So I expected on the second half a little bit stronger, a little bit more competent. Didn't really come through into effect, though.
Well, you know what? I think they did remarkably well. I think the problem was that the previous round went so wrong.
Yeah.
But they were always playing catch-up, and they knew they had to do a lot more. And because of that, they had to be ultra aggressive. And, you know, they were doing well, right, up until the point. But
it all fell apart.
got well, yeah, but InFamouS did really, really well defending that B site. And with that, you know, ESC really just hit a brick wall.
It certainly did. It's interesting to watch. So next map, I believe, is going to be Locker. Looking forward to see how this one goes down. Who do you think is the stronger team on this map, just off previous results, or just your opinion of how they play?
Previously, I would definitely say InFamouS. That's when they were running with the FAMAS quite heavily.
The FAMAS of Doom.
Yeah, but, you know, it's still, they're very much a more infantry-based team. But, you know, with Minisk and, you know, I actually think ESC, this is going to be an even one, I feel.
I see. This is the thing for me. In my own opinion, when the FamouS was in play, it was definitely a map for InFamouS. You know, when they were always very, very strong on that. I always loved the way they played this one out. But now that's changed up. They still look very competent. Don't get me wrong. They look a very, very solid side. Obviously proven. On the previous match. You know, Dawnbreaker was never a great one for them. It was a little hit and miss, but they seem to maybe round themselves out more. They've actually dropped away from just the FamouS play. Maybe actually kind of consolidate them as a team a little overall. But I think InFamouS will pick this one up. I don't think we'll need that third map personally, but you never know. It might, you know, edge onto their... I don't know. I think this is going to be an InFamouS 2-0.
Yeah, I got a feeling it could be a 2-0. InFamouS really did take that map quite forcefully from ESC, and this is a one, like you said, they do well on this kind of map. They're very good on these close core infantry fights, and to be honest, they were winning them in the previous game, so infantry-wise, InFamouS might have this one quite easy.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. They are just going for the final restart before we go to live. But obviously, guys, do let me know who you think is going to win this one. Will it be InFamouS or will it be ESC to go forward into the quarterfinals, where there's just going to be an incredible opponent waiting? There's no other way to look at it, whether it be you know, going in to see Fnatic, Epsilon, there's all the big guys in there, maybe even Team Dignitas if you put them up that high. I don't know if I can be that nice to them. But still, obviously, guys, go through Twitter. You can see mine down below. I pointed here, and it's like there, but still, deal with it. Go over there and tell me who's going to win this one. And obviously, Dogbert, what's your Twitter? It's Dignitas Dogbert, if I'm correct.
I believe it is, yes.
Why do I know that and you don't? But still, go head over towards Dogbert and tell him what you think as well, obviously. And make sure you follow the guy. He's been an awesome co-caster so far. Might need to fire him soon enough because he's looking a little bit better than I am, which is very upsetting for me. But still, make sure you go head over there and give him your feedback towards how the games are going today. But guys, let's get ready for that second map here. If I can get this right, let's see if I don't mess it up. Nailed it! Proud of myself. Alrighty, guys, we are live into the game, and I believe on the US side it's going to be InFamouS, and on the Russian side it's ESC. And what are we seeing from the very offset here, Dogbert?
Standard push out. InFamouS sending 2 out to C, probably trying to Viper control that middle tunnel. Playing quite defensively back at B, working out quite well for them, but they are under pressure at C.
They certainly are, and C has looked as though it's been won over in the end by the, well, it was the InFamouS side, but Miziek coming around the flank there does pick it up in the end. So he'll be walking away with that one, but elsewhere on the map we're seeing already InFamouS putting the pressure down by A, looking like they want to get this one over and done with as soon as possible. No messing around here. And at the moment, the spawns coming back in for ESC are not ideal. They're pretty much left out in the cold, and we know how hard it is to shoot inside from outside. It's really very unpleasant, but still, they have broken through. They've taken down the player in Zigzag, down around the back of A, and now just Kremer stands on his own, and he's not even sure where these players are. There are players absolutely everywhere. They've split through Zigzag. They're looking to just overtake now, but they're taking their time, actually. ESC had a really good chance of getting into A then, and they kind of slowed themselves down. Was that a mistake coming through from them?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And I don't know really what ESC's plan here other than to try and maybe get a push of B going. But as soon as that happens, expect to see that C flag go down. You can see Doobie trying to play a smart game here, waiting outside of A. But right now, nothing is going right for ESC.
They're waiting for something that's never coming, and at the moment, they're even being challenged down B. Finally, Doobie's going to make a bit of a move here. There is only one man defending this A site, so hopefully with the reinforcements now coming in, and they've come in with Hysteria as well. This is going to be a little bit of a massacre. Lasercat goes down, but Doobie replies. It's gone back and forth, but in the end, Grimjow wins out. InFamouS hold on, and the time wasted of him sitting there waiting that long to not fully commit well enough has cost them so many tickets. Look at this advantage InFamouS have carved out for themselves. 144 to 105, 106 then. It's not looking good, and the way InFamouS are just even applying pressure down by B, how can ESC really find their way out of here?
I really don't know. They just seem to be getting absolutely smashed here, and InFamouS really just starting to hunt down for kills. They have got fixed positions, kind of a spread on the map right now, but they do seem to be just coming forward with a kind of bloodlust here.
Yeah, nice work from Get there. Actually, a really beautiful position, utilizing the map nicely. Bit of a mountain climber, but picks up the kill, and he might actually get C into hand. But we are seeing the counter push of 2 to 3 players heading out towards B. Tony and co take down the opposing members, and they should be able to claim this. So never losing that 2-to-1 hold for a second, but can they maintain here? Kremer not using the gun that's that great close range. It's not a FamouS anymore, buddy. And it looks like Grimjow's going to have to try and deal with the oncoming forces of ESC. 139 to 85. ESC need to really start making that move pretty soon, because those tickets are going to get pretty low pretty fast here.
Yeah, ESC finally have made that breakthrough. They have suffered a massive amount of ticket loss to get to this point, but here you go. They're going to get the A, they're going to get the C. They had people set up to defend it. It's all on Garrick to actually hold, and he goes down straight away. Didn't even get a kill. And there you go. That bleed is just going to straight away go against ESC, and this is just painful.
Really is. They're struggling to make an impact here, and Jesus, Perlin just dancing around Hysteria supporting. It's not looking nice at all. It looks like they're almost ready to push back in towards A now. B, obviously the random spawns coming back in. Get wrecked back there, trying to do what he can, but he's already been spotted out. There's no easy way back in here for ESC, and it looks as though almost that if InFamouS wanted A by this point, they could have probably taken it, but they're happy holding the BC. They're still getting that ticket bleed in their favor. They're going to be racking up the points, going with a lovely lead into the second half if ESC can't really break out of this, and they're struggling. Misiek looks terrified to peek out by B, and the nades coming in are not going to make him, peek any faster. This is going to be a very slow game. We're seeing Perlin in that OP to hell spot up there, just stopping anyone pushing out towards C. The main corridor is being held, and even Perlin pushing in to pick up A. This is going to be a triple cap if they decide to hold B as well. It looks like InFamouS being business here.
Yeah, Perlin by himself getting that kill over A, and there you go, trip cap coming in, and the worst place for them to push out. And this is just going to be a massacre.
Yeah, Grim can just play this one to a T, and it looks like he didn't even realize that. Off the first kill, Grim just sat there like, okay, guys, just keep running at me. I love this position. Hysteria clearly enjoying himself as well. Takes down Badam. Misiek will find the reply, so breaking through slowly but surely, but the fire comes in now from Kremer. And we are seeing that triple gap held even longer. 132 to 33. ESC are in dire straits. A team that looked substantially better than InFamouS at the offline finals are not really having that impact here. And you can see finally the swarm coming in from the ESC side towards that B point. But Lasercat is the only one really doing the job at the moment. Finally doing the job, should I say, at 3 to 10. But it's just not a pretty sight for any ESC fan here.
No, they're getting absolutely smashed right now, and the last gasp is going to be a push on the C, I believe, but they're just going in drips and drabs, and they're getting shut down.
And Zuby there takes a good couple of bullets. They're even just so slow to get towards these sites. They're not even fully committing, and they know the rush is now on. They finally get in towards A, but you can see the fire from Perlin there. It was a two-man pickup, defends the site, claims this one out, and moves on to the next. Hysteria does the same. And InFamouS living up to that name. They had the reputation on this map for a reason, and they're certainly living up to it here. I like the way Perlin completely ignored the pickup on the flag then. He just went for the kills on the respawn, and you can see why. It's going to be a massive advantage, 128. Jesus, that's never a sight you want to see at this sort of level of gameplay.
Beautiful destruction from InFamouS's point of view, and there's not really much ESC could do. I mean, they had a really awkward start. It didn't go their way, and from then on out, they were really just paralyzed.
Yeah, this was a very one-sided game in that sort of aspect. It's, I don't know, it's very, very hard for me to kind of, you can't really analyze much from ESC's point of view. Let me put it this way, all right? I'm going to, one, remove that from the top of the screen, and two, let's check back in, and you can see the scoreboard here. Doobie 2 to 10. Previously a big player for ESC. Lasercat 3 to 11, and we saw the double coming in for him towards the end. No one being positive, and then you look over here. Hysteria, we saw Perlin, absolutely on point. Low kills coming in for Kremer, but he didn't need to do any big work. The kills that he got were the important ones, and it's just work like that that can make such a difference towards these points in game. It's unbelievable. So guys, let me know your thoughts towards how this one's going. Obviously a little bit one-sided here, but is this InFamouS back on track? But the thing I have to say is, will they do what they did before? Get all the way through to the offline finals, switch up some players, and come, last place again. It's hard for me to kind of get hyped up about these guys, seeing that they're doing well, because they always did well during the online phases, but it's the offline play that they just seem to struggle at. But is this a weaker ESC?
I think you remember
It's hard, but
when Dignitas first started with their new lineup, you know, there was a real rough time where they just looked completely confused, and you know, it takes some
yeah,
time to meld a team, especially when you have
that's
loads
true.
of different languages as well. And I think that's something you're going to see. Give them time. If they keep playing, they will improve. And right now, it's just getting used to each other's play style and positions. Not everyone calls them by the same thing, and not everyone's used to
Sorry.
talking English instead of maybe their native tongue.
That's a very good point, actually. You do have to give it a little bit of time. I was so surprised that Dignitas adapted so well once they did towards, obviously, speaking a different language and kind of adapting through, unless they're going to make someone else speak a different language than them. But it worked out in the end for Dignitas, and I'm hoping it might come through for ESC if these changes might be holding them back. But right now, we're in the second half. A, B, and it looks like C being picked up, this time for ESC, who are on the US side. So a good beginning for them. But we are seeing LaserCat actually holding on here as well. But nevertheless, InFamouS have a lot of tickets to play with. Whereas, let's be serious here, ESC, if they drop below 128, they're already in trouble. Is this the start that they wanted? Is this a good enough, setup of flags?
This is the best they were going to get, and I don't think ESC are going to move from this pretty that much. That's a big push at C, though, from InFamouS.
3 players stacked outside, 1 falls, 2 remain. They pick up C, and now they've left A fairly open. And look at LaserCat round the back. He's going to catch one. Oh, no, he doesn't. He goes down in the end to Crema, the 180 coming through strong. And, well, the 2-to-1 hold already kicking into place against ESC. They cannot sit at this. Let's bear in mind, if ESC, the US side, drop below 128, they are out of this game. Simple as that. Doobie getting shut down for even just looking towards A. LaserCat coming through, maybe fancying his chances. Let's get a nice shot there, opening up with that ace 23. But it's certainly not going to be an easy task. LaserCat is doing a little bit better than before, but let's be serious here. This is going to be an uphill struggle all the way through.
Yeah, getting a pistol kill there to finish it off. And there you go, they are going to get the bleed, but a metal detector, this is just a slugfest right now.
And the tickets are almost too low. They're there already. It's... You can see how dominant InFamouS were on the first half. That second half was over in 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Yep, that was insane. And I thought maybe they had a chance. No,
nope.
Destroyed completely. And InFamouS just so strong on Locker. And yeah, a quick 2-0 victory.
Yeah, very much so. We can stay in the game for a little bit, but the time is definitely over here. Not much to be said or done. 127 was below the ticket threshold. 128 was the point. But still, you know, let's kind of take stock of what we've seen so far from both of these two teams. InFamouS, for one, I'm not sure if they have the exact same lineup. It looks as though they've made some changes there. I'm not sure if Perlin was always in this lineup. I'm trying to think back through the players. It looks as though they switched up some. And we can kind of tab out now because they are seemingly satisfied with how that went through. So we can come back to myself like so. And there we are. But yeah, we can kind of take stock of what we've seen of these two teams. Obviously, InFamouS walk away with the victory overall quite swiftly on that second half. That was certainly not the point to be excited about. The dominant play on the first half was the main factor. But out of which team do you feel has improved, during that small break between and the changes in between the seasons here?
I still feel, even though, I think they're gonna suffer a few defeats in the future. I think InFamouS will do quite well in the future. Same with ESC, but My Revenge have been doing pretty well, and I think you're also going to see Maxim did really well as well. So I'm not really sure how they'll hang. They're going up against Meteor Makers right now. It's just a back and forth. I think it's very early days. It's very hard to call it, so we'll have to wait and see.
Now, you do raise a very good point. It is early days. It's the second cup in a brand new season. We can't sit here and go, this team is far superior than all the others. It doesn't quite work like that. Obviously, you guys in esports are well aware. I don't need to teach you guys at home how to suck eggs. But anyway, let's have a little update in towards the bracket and see exactly how it's kind of been taking shape at the moment. As we just saw in the game we witnessed, InFamouS will be moving forward, and they'll either face MNG or Epsilon. I think that I know which opponent they'd rather face off there, but I can imagine it's going to be the other. Epsilon will probably make that through, I feel. Do you agree to that?
Yeah, I think that's a kind of a safe assumption.
Above that one, however, My Revenge against Planet Key Dynamics, I'd say PKD picked that one up.
You would think so, but...
My Revenge did start looking a little better, though.
they are starting to look a lot better, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, Planet Key, just off experience alone, you'd think would take it.
Yeah, I'd say Pyrogen then as well will make that through, so it could be PKD Pyrogen. And then above that, no surprises, Gamers Connection, the team that you certainly tipped to be a dominating factor. And Jason certainly saw in the previous cup, making it through to the quarterfinals pretty much first, taking down Anima Esports 2-0. They'll be facing off against either Evonity Gaming, not sure what that name is, it's atrocious, or Team Dignitas. I can imagine Dig will make it through there. And in the top game, MYM against Fnatic. Now, I'd say there would be the two teams that would make it through there as well. But for me, which would be the better game? Gamers Connection against Team Dignitas, if they make it there, obviously, I'm speaking hypothetically. Or Fnatic MYM, because they're both very good games possibly going on, and I feel as though I'd have to watch one of them.
Ooh, it's a difficult one
Yeah.
in a way. Then again, Pyrogen versus Planet Key could be quite good.
Could be very good as well.
Oh, you put me on the spot here. Obviously, we've got to see
Pressure.
who wins their games, but
Let's assume, we're assuming now. No getting out of this.
GC versus Dig might be good, but I would like to see Planet Key or My Revenge versus Pyro or No Mercy. That could be an interesting game.
I haven't yet seen Gamers Connection this season firsthand, so I'd certainly like to watch them. But obviously I asked this question to you guys at home as well. Who would you like to see in the next game? While we have a couple of seconds in between it, make sure you tweet through to me at TheyCallMePansy and let me know which matchup you'd ideally like to see. Some of them may not end in the way you expect, so I might not be able to watch those. But if you give me a bit of a resounding factor of I want to see Fnatic or I want to see GC against Team Dignitas, vice versa, or any of the games coming up, let me know via Twitter, obviously at DignitasDogbert as well, and we'll try and work towards getting that game for you guys at home. But we are going to go to a very short break while we wait for the next best of three to kind of kick into action. Obviously, it's me waiting on the teams. It's not me just sitting here going, you know what, guys? I'm going to make them wait a little longer. I'm going to make these guys at home chill out, get a cup of tea. No, it is the teams taking their time. Obviously, they want to make sure they're ready for the next game. So do stay tuned. Make yourself a cup of tea, whack the kettle on, and get yourself back here in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'd say that's when the next game's going down. But before you do that, head over to Twitter. Make sure you tweet through to myself, letting me know which game you'd ideally like to see. So guys, I'll be back in 5. Enjoy the music. Get onto Twitter. And hopefully we'll be seeing you after a very short break.